Hello, I'm Joanne from Tattered Leaf Designs, Flowers and Gifts in Lyons, Wisconsin. Been a florist for over 30 years. I am putting together some boutonnieres for a wedding, and it's kind of a quiet day, though I thought, let's do a video. Why not? So, with homecoming coming up, a lot of people do like to make their own, and I have a couple little tips for even your fellow florists. This is a little awkward, isn't it? Hello. So, here's the final results of the boutonniere that I like it to look at. It's wrapped in twine. And I'm going to teach a couple of techniques that are very old, but very practical. There's a lot of different ways of constructing a boutonniere nowadays. There's not really any right or wrong, but I'll explain a little bit why I'm doing it this way, and let's get started. So what I do like to do is lay out all my flowers and count all. I have 6 groomsmen, 2 ushers, let me get my list here, 2 fathers, 3 grandfathers, a reader, and a boutonniere and a ring bearer. So I like to lay out, I like to make a prototype first, and then I know exactly what I have in there. So I'm going to have 2 Viking pomps that look like sunflowers, because this is a fall wedding and we're using sunflowers in a bouquet. So this is, instead of using a big sunflower or even a medium small sunflower, I love these. It gives you that sunflower look but keeps the size down. I did add this really cute little pumpkin pomp here. The dresses are this rich rust color. Look at that, it's like matches perfectly. So we're using that, and this is going to be on the boutonnieres, on a navy boutonniere on a tux. So it's going to look darling. So let's get started. So like I said, I laid it all out, and so I cut everything ahead of time and grouped everything. So I'm going to cut the stem of this a little bit shorter. I'm going to take a number 26 gauge wire. I am inserting it up through the stem and then creating a little hook on top. And then I'm gonna pull it through. But not that hard. Of course, on camera. So gently pull it through, and then just for you don't see the top of the wire, just gently. Then I'm going to take tape, and since you can do the dark green tape, I like using a light green, but it doesn't matter in this application because it's all going to be covered up. So then I'm twirling these. This is a little bit of a technique that takes a little while to learn, believe it or not. This one I started already. So I usually start up at top. I hold it, my thumb and index finger, and then I'm kind of turning the flower, and you want to stretch the tape. I got a pesky fly here. So I'm in Wisconsin, the weather's starting to change. I really don't want to put the air on today, so I got the doors open. So there we go. So here I got these 2 taped, and then now I'm going to do the same with my little accent piece. I'm going to send it up the stem, make a little hook. I think it's called hook and loop. This one you can see a little bit, where's the camera? There we go. I gotta figure out where the camera is. See how I'm just gonna pull it, and you don't see that at all. And again, tape. And you're taping just below the natural stem, and that'll keep some of the moisture in the stem. And I'll explain why I'm doing it this way. Now I'm not going to wire my leaves. I can show you how we used to do it, but this is where, I'm gonna form a little hook So again, this is an old technique. Some use it, some don't. And you're going to hairpin this through the leaf. And then this, you want to leave a little bit of a stem. And then you're going to wrap. And you want to hold this really, really tight. And that takes a couple of times doing it. But you want that nice and tight and nice and smooth. Not big and bulky. So what this allows you to do is then manipulate it. So say you want that leaf down front, you can do that. Like I said, I am not going to do this with the, but you can. So this, just to show you what you can do. I also did some grevillea foliage. I love grevillea foliage, especially this time of year. So you're going to take your grevillea, foliage, and put it in the back. I'm going to lay my eucalyptus silver dollar leaf. Then I'm going to lay my Viking palm. And I'm going to lay, and you want to do right underneath. See how this is? You're not going to go like this. You're going to lay it right underneath. And then the little accent piece is just going to come to the side. Okay? So, but yeah, you just want a little hint of that. In fact, my leaf, in fact, I'm going to leave this first and then this. Forgot how I was going to do it. So silver dollar leaf, then the grevillea. So then I'm just going to wrap it real tight. Again, pinch it right at the top. Pull, twist, turn. There you go. You're going to take some wire cutters. And you don't want real long stems. So, reason I did, these are kind of, they're hardy, but they're a little fragile, the leaves, if you kind of knock into them, so that's why I kind of taped them. You're also, again, you can manipulate them a little bit, so I want this guy to come down just a little bit. So I want this one, since we're not doing a whole lot underneath, I can manipulate him for he's a little bit forward, so it's not quite upright. So, same thing, I can just bring him a little bit forward too. So again, the wiring allows me to manipulate it and put it where I want. Then you're going to take your twine, and this is how I like to do it. There's a couple, if you find out in industry, there's 101 ways. So I like to leave it, start laying it, twine along the stem. I kind of hold it with one finger, and I just start wrapping. And then I work up. So you're covering that piece that you started with. Just kind of turning it as you go. You want complete coverage. Sometimes if there's a gap, you can go back. You don't want to do that too many times, otherwise you're going to end up with a real big thick stem. So again, just keep it kind of tight. So a lot of times the cost of boutonnieres cut it right there. And then what I like to do, walking away, is I have my hand glue, and I just put a dab at the ends, one that kind of seals that rough edge, and I just take it and smooth it out. You don't see, and pan glue isn't as hot as a glue gun either. It's a floral / adhesive, and you can see that you hardly see that, and that's going to be towards the back anyway. So it gives you a nice finished look. It holds up, and there you go. Boutonniere number 2. Then what you want to do, this is Crown and Glory, is you want to spray it. That seals it all up, keeps the moisture in, and keeps the leaves from shattering. And that will dry, and that will preserve them really nice for the day. So I'm going to do a couple more here. I don't want this video to get too long. Hopefully, I'm just going to try to make some. like I said, it's kind of a quiet day here, and I thought, I need somebody to talk to. I'll do a video. Then I don't look crazy just talking to myself. So let me tell you a little bit about me. I like to Tatterleaf Designs, Flowers and Gifts. I'm located in Lyons, Wisconsin. Close to Lake Geneva, if people know where that is. I've been very blessed. I've been doing this for 30 years. And then I had my own shop for the last 6. I'm actually in a little bit of a change. I am going to convert over to a studio in another month or so. I have an extensive gift line that I carry now, and like I said, I've been very blessed in having a nice, strong wedding work. So I'm going to concentrate mostly on that. So like I said, this one I'm not going to wire, so I'll show you how this is all going to come into play. And the Curvilier foliage too, it comes off like a stem like this, and I just pull a leaf off, and then I'm going to pull some of the bottom leaves off where I have something to wire to. So that's how that comes about. So I kind of pre-planned. And you can see they have the dark side and a light side. Of course, I want the dark side. But you could, the other side's a little more silvery if you're, so by doing this all ahead of time, as you can see, just grab and go, it works pretty good. So if I wasn't talking to you as much, by getting the prototype done and pre-cutting all these, I could pretty much have these done within 10-15 minutes. So I don't need 300 designers here doing these. That's part of it too. So what I'm going to do now though, since I showed you, I'm gonna stop at this point, and then I'm going to continue on just wiring and taping. And then I'll go back and put the twine on. So that'll be the final step. But this will speed it up a little bit. So boutonnieres are, as you can see, can be, oh, that little boutonniere, why does it cost so much? Well, there's a lot of work that goes into it. Like I said, this is a rose doing roses are a little bit different wiring wise, and there is some boutonnieres now I just put together without wiring. I mean, so it's a whole new bohemian style look, so just adapt to what wedding you're doing. So and again, there's no right or wrong per se, as long as your mechanic is solid and the look is clean. I think that's the key. So that's different between a professional and somebody that just does it, a DIYer. So again, I gotta strip that foliage down. Everyone does a little bit differently. Like I said, this back leaf gave me a little trouble, but you just make sure it's in there and nice and tight. There you go. A lot of times when I say I can make boutonnieres pretty darn fast, or corsages too. I should do a video on how I do my corsages. Because even fellow florists are like, there's a couple of techniques you can do, and I think I contributed years ago. I used to be a short order cook, so you have to prep ahead of time. You can't just wait until the last minute. You also can't just be cooking one order at a time. So some of those skills from that previous job kind of overlap to this. So I don't work on just one boutonniere. I'm working on the whole. Because time is money too. So that's why a lot of I can do things a little bit more reasonable because I know it only takes me a few more minutes instead of. I had a young girl help me out. No fault to her own. She was just young. But it was literally, I timed her. It was 3 hours doing 8 boutonnieres. I did not make any money with her. So you can see, like this one went pretty darn fast. So again, everything's laid out ahead of time. And this wrapped. Again, I don't want to keep talking about nothing. But, and there we go. So you can see, so again, I'm going to come back and tweak it and everything before I wrap it with twine and spray it and everything else. So again, thank you. This is Joanne from Tattered Leaf Designs Studios in Lyons, Wisconsin. I hope I helped you and I hope you had a great time, and watch for my next video. Thank you.